Whether you're outside surviving during a major disaster, helping with the recovery effort, or just working around the homestead, let's face it, you only got two hands. Seems like a good idea to protect them. And after a whole lot of research and a whole lot of testing, I have found these gloves to be pretty darn good deal for the price. So when we come back, I'm going to show them to you. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me. Thanks for coming back today. After I shot the video yesterday, I had a whole lot of yard work to do. And normally, when I do yard work, I've been using these cheap gloves that I got from Walmart. You've probably seen these. And don't get me wrong, they've served me pretty well for a long time. These actually have been used a whole lot. But they weren't comfortable, they weren't flexible, they didn't fit my hand all that great. And when it came to doing any kind of fire-related tasks, like fire starting or batoning wood or whatever, they tended to slide off my hand. They just didn't fit my hand very well. So I started hunting around for some gloves that were actually work gloves that would actually fit a little snugger and a little better. And I tested a couple of pairs, and they all look the same. When you buy these off of Amazon, they'll all look the same, but very few of them perform like these did. I had a few pairs that split on me, a few pairs where the fingers came loose, and I've been just doing some basic batoning and chopping up wood and tasks like that with them. I didn't spend a whole day outside doing yard work with them. So I figured that was a perfect test. I had rose bushes to cut down and trim up. I had some branches to trim with one of my little small silky saws. I had a ton of work to do out there. Mowing, weed whacking, you name it. Palm trees trimmed up. So I was dealing with stuff that could hurt my hands. I was dealing with a lot of stuff out there that just is vibration and annoyance, like the weed whacker. And just, in general, a lot of work. Dug halfway around the front of my mound in my front driveway. Put out some rock instead of the old plastic that was there. So I'm going to line it all with big rocks, just random big rocks. So I was digging in the dirt. I was doing all sorts of stuff. And I wore these all day. And I'll tell you something. These are far superior to these guys here. So I'm going to give you some information on them first. These are from a company called OZERO. They are flex grip leather gloves. And like I said, if you go on Amazon, trust me, I tried 3 or 4 of them before I came up with a good one. So after doing a bunch of research and a bunch of testing, these were the ones I came up with. They run about $12.99 a pair. I've seen these type of gloves in the bulk stores like Sam's and Costco and stuff. And when you break down the price, you got 3 pairs. When you break down the price, it's about $13-14 a pair. So generally not a bad idea. I am going to pick up more because these are in all of my bug out bags. And these are so far superior. So a pair of work gloves is going in each one, including my my bag that I have set up for disaster recovery and emergencies and stuff like that when I work with CERT or when I work with the Ham Radio Club. So let's get into the gloves. They're 100% grain, genuine grain cowhide, shrink resistant, very, very flexible. That's what I liked about them. And these got a little damp too, and they didn't get all stiff and nasty like those other ones did. They are water resistant. They're not waterproof. You can dump water on them. It's not going to get them soaked through. Whereas the other ones, if you got water on them, it immediately went straight through. They are made carefully selected from some high quality cow leather. And the thickness varies from 1 millimeter to 1.2 millimeters. So it's not only thick, but it's durable, but it's also soft and flexible. This has that feeling of a very expensive leather jacket. That's the best way I could put it. Now, when I got them, I did put a little mink oil on them and let them sit for a day and just kind of let it soak in, make them a little more flexible and comfortable. But they really didn't need it. I mean, if you're going to use these, you don't have to do that. It's just kind of something I was taught to do, and being that, I may do a lot of survival videos, but I'm learning a lot as I go. You gotta remember, I grew up in a city. I didn't grow up in the country, so I'm learning a lot as I go. So a lot of stuff I do just because I was told to do. So if it's wrong, hey, let me know. They do have an interesting reinforced palm. Gives you a very nice grip. That's one thing I noticed with the weed whacker is, you weren't getting sweaty, it wasn't slipping out of your hand, and it was very warm yesterday. We were in the 90s yesterday, so it will definitely hold up well. The stitching, and the way it's done here, some of the problem I had with one of them split right here. and it only had this stitch. It didn't have the secondary stitch. So it really wasn't holding up all that well. It's kind of a bummer too, because they look pretty much like these, but they didn't hold up. So that was one of the problems I had with that, and these held up to it. They held up to a lot of abuse. And I did wipe them down with a damp cloth after. As you can tell, they kind of get a little dirty, but I mean, that's the whole point. So that's about what I have for them. They do have an anti-stiff component into them. I don't know what that means. I wasn't able to get any information from the distributor on that, but they do come very soft and supple. So, can't hurt. Now, this thing back here, when you put these on, okay, let me show you. I'll put these on. There we go. Now, if you don't want dirt and debris and crud getting back here, you can tighten this down. And that's how that works. So that will protect your hand in here from anything getting inside. And that's how I did them yesterday. This didn't really get in the way. I did tuck it under a little, but it didn't really get in the way or anything, so it wasn't really a big deal, just like that. And that's how they worked the whole day. So what we're going to do to give you a little look at how they work and how they fit and how they hold up is I'm going to split up some wood with a knife. I'm going to baton some wood, and we're going to use a ferro rod and start a little fire in my little stove that I built here, and we'll try them out. So let's take it over to the side of the house today and give it a try. Biggest test in the world, but you got to see how they functioned, and worked pretty well, very comfortable. I didn't do any kind of firework with them before that, other than burning in my pit with them. They were pretty good for that. You have a fire pit where I burn all the old leaves and stuff and branches that come off trees. But all in all, I'm very impressed with them, and I'm going to be ordering a few more sets to put in my bug out bags. They'll replace these old, I think these were like a 3-pack for $6 from Walmart. These are still good, don't get me wrong, maybe if you're just a casual gardener or whatever, but if you're going to be doing some work that requires dexterity, And one of the things I did want to show you was I was able, using the fingers, to pick up stuff off the ground, when I was chopping up that tinder. So I'm impressed with them. They work great. I'm going to give you a link down below where you can pick them up. These are the OZERO Flex Grip Leather Work Gloves. They are $12.99 a pair. Like I said, I've tested a bunch of them that all look the same. They all have the same design and everything. But be careful, because not all of them are made the same way. And I could tell right away when I got these out of the package, and this is the package they come in, that they were just a little bit above what I've been messing around with before. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to share, click like, and subscribe if you like the content. And don't forget to check out our Amazon store. This will be in our Amazon store, but I'll leave a direct link to that. Don't forget to check out our Amazon store down below. If you don't see anything you like in the store, just click the link and shop as you normally would. Really helps out the channel a whole lot. And don't forget to check out our Thrive Life link. If you're thinking of stocking up on freeze-dried foods for the first time, if you're thinking about putting some away for preparedness, definitely the place to do it. Thrive has some awesome freeze-dried foods, and I think you'll really appreciate it over the other stuff. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching. Stay safe and stay prepared.